Hi, welcome. This is Mike from the Bowersock Gallery here in Provincetown, Massachusetts. Today I get the privilege of speaking with Julie Beck. Now, Julie, she is an instructor as well as the assistant director for the Academy of Real Estate in Boston. How do you find that?
Well, it's a really nice balance that being the assistant director and instructor here at the school is actually a really nice balance for my professional art career and also working at the school. The school really opened up my abilities to create the work that I do now, and I'm very passionate and I feel very strongly about this type of training. So it's a really nice balance because it keeps me engaged with students. Teaching is always a great way to make sure that your skills stay up to standard. And it's also a nice reminder that, when I tell my students, hey, everything's fixable, it allows me to not freak out when my paintings aren't going the way that I want them to. So it's actually a really nice balance, and it allows me to have the freedom to really make the work that I'm super happy with and passionate about. So it gives me a balance in my life, which is really nice.
Great. Now, in conversations that I've had with you, you've told me that you come from a digital background, a graphic design. How do you find that helped you with an artist or not helped you?
Well, I actually started out, I did 10 years as a graphic designer and video editor, and that was mainly because I actually am not very naturally good at art, if that makes any sense.
It does.
I actually come from an engineering math background, and I knew I wanted to be artistic and creative in my profession, but because my natural ability is really not fabulous, like it's actually pretty mediocre in general. I rightly so, my parents encouraged me to go towards a more stable career. And I ended up in graphic design. However, I do have to say that working in that field for 10 years allowed me to kind of hone the business end of, so being a freelancer, you really have to make sure that you can pay your bills. So you kind of have this feast or famine. You start to be a little bit more comfortable with that. You also are comfortable working with clients and customer service, and it becomes you are your own business. So I think it really set me up for being able to have a professional art career as well, because those skills translate very well. And I have to say now, with this whole world situation, having video editing capabilities and digital capabilities is actually quite a strength. So while I always wished I was an artist from the start, the fact that I didn't start out as an artist actually, I think, has its benefits as well.
Well, and I agree with that immensely, but in representing your work, I can definitely see from the design point of view, it helps you evoke a feeling. Because the thing that I've noticed with your artwork is the most, when I'm looking at people look at your work, there's a feeling that they get, or I understand why she did this, or how do you feel that when you're looking for a subject to paint, that helps you, create that?
Well, I think something that is a common thread through the graphic design and just design in general is the concept of composition and narrative. So for a lot of even my still life work, storytelling is at the heart of what I'm doing. And really, graphic design is about communication. And so as an artist, here we are trying to create works that are going to survive the ages, over time, over languages. It's really about communication and connection with other human beings. I don't just make art to have it sit in my studio. I want it to be out there, and I want other people to have genuine connections. And, maybe their emotional or personal reaction to a painting isn't necessarily what I originally intended, but that's okay. I would rather have this imagery evoke something for that individual in which they feel like they're a part of it. And so when I do design my work and I'm really trying to do storytelling, I try to leave a certain amount of openness to the work so that the audience can actually play a part in it as well.
So you find that challenges you, and then, the work being challenged is what gets you into it, so to speak. Because I always hear from Steven, he's in the zone. So
Yeah.
it's like, don't bother me.
Yeah, the zone The zone is an interesting place to be, and it's honestly for a very type A personality like myself, the zone is the only place that I can actually, meditate. For me, actually, the technical aspects of painting are where that zone happened for me, where once I have an idea, for me, once I have a full concept of setup for a still life or a concept for a portrait, once I actually start painting, it's literally downhill from there, where once I know what I'm painting, I can get into painting, I can listen to podcasts, I can be completely mentally occupied because my brain just goes into this autopilot in which I can, play with the paint to try to get it to do what I want to try to get specific effects or textures or a specific space quality to the painting. But really the difficult part for me is before the painting starts. So the painting itself is actually my kind of meditation in the zone time. Before that is this really difficult struggle and like existential crisis time where
Yeah.
where I'm trying to find new stuff.
Well, there goes one of your subjects right behind you. I find that, an amazing analogy there. Even looking at the painting sitting next to you there, you can see the different, what you did with the little toy car as opposed as the I think it's a little boy on a horse, but the whole thing coming together and making one thing. It's you can feel it.
Yeah, and so I did make that video for you guys, and I think you have it on your YouTube channel.
Yes.
Yeah, so that I kind of went through the explanation of that specific painting, but that's very similar to most of my work and when I'm developing that type of work. The kind of spontaneity and exploration and where creativity really comes into play is the beforehand of where the setup happens. And I posted my Instagram actually yesterday about, I literally just have piles of stuff around my studio right now because I'm trying to set up for new pieces. So it's really about allowing the creative muse to show me what I should be painting. So that's where, objects, when I look for different objects, it's not always like obvious, but once I'm following a thread that has kind of made itself apparent to me, I kind of know where to look for what I'm looking for. Yeah. So it's as much as my work is very controlled, and once I'm painting, I don't make any changes really. I do have actually quite a bit of spontaneity and kind of, that kind of creative, messy phase happens with the concept before the painting actually starts.
Well, it's definitely inspiring, and representing your work is a highlight of the gallery. I want to thank you for talking to us today. And if you want to see Julie's work, just go to the Bowersock Gallery at bowersockgallery.com and look for Julie Beck. Julie, thank you, and have a great day.
We got Steve's head in there.
Oh, he's great.